Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Campaign 2 DM Diaries, where I, Francis, the Dungeon Master, recap what happened from the previous two episodes, or in our case, as players, the previous session, and I'd give my initial thoughts and kind of talk about the basis of what happened over those two episodes. This episode right now is about Campaign 2, Episode 7 and Episode 8. As always, you can check out our podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, anywhere where you get your podcast fix. So, with that out of the way, let's jump into the episode. So the party, now in Neil, the capital city of this region, has decided to stick around and try to fulfill some sort of side quest. Eventually, they meet a older human noblewoman named Lady Nadia. She is of a noble status, and she lives in District 2, which is the upper class district, but she lives somewhat humbly. When the party meets her, they learn that Lady Nadia's husband, Ahmed, went missing, and she believes that Ahmed was cheating on her. She believes that he's been acting strangely because he's been going out late at night when normally he doesn't do that. He loads crates for the quartermaster during the day. So the party asks where does he drink, and she eventually points the party to a tavern. And she doesn't know where this tavern is. However, this tavern is in the Docks District. District 6 or District 4? One of the two. I don't remember off the top of my head. But the party decides to go to the tavern, and there they meet sailors. As soon as they enter the bar, they meet a disgruntled sailor known as Mac. And Mac is this huge, big guy, drunk, drinks a lot, and he picked a fight with the party. Now, I was expecting a little bit more finesse with the situation, but hey, that's what the party is. The party's still trying to figure that out. The party, as soon as upon meeting him, Mac said to the party that he hates adventurers. He thinks that they're trouble wherever they go. He believes that adventurers are no good to society and they should just leave right now. William and Matt made a comeback that was pretty snarky, and he didn't care because he's drunk. He's not really paying attention to whatever you say. So eventually William and the sailor Mac got into a brawl, and William won. It wasn't designed to be a difficult encounter. Thought process behind that was a lot of the party is naive, and especially with this session, it's not a main mission, it's more of downtime, side quest. I wanted to introduce these areas of gray. They were antagonized just for being adventurers whom this party glorifies. The party gets more information from the tavern keeper. The tavern keeper says, he was hanging around these group of kids. They smelled really funny. They must have been from District 4, which is the slums district. And they go to District 4. There they meet the Rounders. And the Rounders, they're very anti-adult. This set of 4 kids. And they're very similar to Codename Kids Next Door, which is a Cartoon Network show which I'm not sure most people even remember, or at my age, or it got taken down. But it was a kids show that I really enjoyed, and I needed some inspiration for these kids. And I'm not gonna lie, I fumbled a little bit because I'm not a voice actor, so trying to differentiate 3 different kids at the same time is kind of a bit much for me. So I think by stating my reference and saying, number 4, number 1, number 2, because my friends in this party, they have, as players, they know the reference. So if I tell them, they know exactly who I'm talking about. And it didn't matter what their names were, but, which I guess can take away from the experience, but I don't think it takes away from them having fun. Names are kind of a more means to an end, if you catch my drift, especially for these types of NPCs. Eventually, they convince the kids with chocolate to let them into their base, into their bunker, and which is the sewers, and let them talk to Kubo, their leader. So the party goes down into the sewers and meet Kubo. The way that encounter went was a little bit interesting because they realized something's a little bit off. As he was talking, Kubo starts motioning his way towards the exit, and the party sees this happening and tries to block him off because Kubo is very anxious around adults. Kubo eventually runs away from the party to reveal slightly his true form, because as he runs away, the party just attacks him. Clearly, they throw javelins, they cast spells, and because he took that much damage, he revealed his true form, which is the 16-foot tall monstrosity that is called a Black One. The inspiration from this is a modified doppelganger, in a sense, kind of a way to insert doppelgangers / changelings into the world. But this kid, Kubo, he is this powerful, the other kids like him because he's powerful, he has, and because of kids' innocence, they think of Kubo as like Big Brother is here, sort of in that twisted Bioshock sense. Given that he rolled super high and he was first on the initiative roll, he decides to tear down the tunnel because he's not a fighter. And I think that was the thing that he could do. I mean, him and his buddies are the ones that are setting up traps all over the docks, and also with, the party, rolling lower initiative than him, he was able to gain the upper hand. So, Kubo tears down the tunnel. The party decides to wrap around and go back to the other side from whence they came, and they come back, and then Kubo is gone. However, he is bleeding. He has bloody handprints on the ladder rails going up. They go back up, and they're back in the district, and they have no idea where the hell he went. So the party talks to the kids. The kids say, "Oh yeah, I've seen Kubo sometimes. He goes to this house in District 2 a lot whenever he needs to calm down and regain his composure." And here's the twist, because the party goes back to District 2 and they recognize the house because Zalim is there, and Zalim is with Lady Nadia. And during this time, Nadia and the party were able to talk about if she had any kids, and she ends up admitting that she got rid of a child because she believed that the child is cursed, and that the child will bring ruin upon not only them, but the whole betterment of their society. So they decided to, quote unquote, break the curse through ritual means, and then by submitting the child to an orphanage, so they will not feel guilty about, they didn't kill the kid or put him down, but they let him attempt to achieve a better life. And sort of in retrospect, Kubo had a terrible childhood. He was abused physically by the headmaster or headmistress of the orphanage, and him and his buddies decide to run away to form their own group of the Rounders. That's the whole Kubo story. When she was asked if there was something out of it, you see Zalim's face and hand turned black, and all of a sudden he just punches her through the chest and claws at her insides, essentially. And because of it's a surprise attack and it's a crit, she is insta-dead. Like, no way she can be brought back to life. At the very climax of this was the party versus Kubo, because, of flanking, and it's one giant creature versus 5 that have pretty good DPS. It was only a matter of time before the party was able to put Kubo down, and the party was conflicted. The kids were there, and the 3 kids were there, and they were sad over their friend. They couldn't do anything because they're kids, they're powerless, and they were lamenting. The party finishes making arrangements for the funeral. They come back, see Zalim tied up like a turkey, release him, and begin the process of filling him in. And that's where we ended our session. So, thoughts on the session? Well, I think that a lot of the execution was pretty scuffed because the Codename Kids Next Door reference, I wanted to sell the idea that even though that this is a high fantasy, this is more of a modern take on high fantasy. I think a junkyard was pretty cool, doing something different, and I think that the players had a lot more fun because it was something different versus the straight up combat. And I think there was some pretty good storytelling here. I can't really say how much they enjoyed it. I haven't really talked to them about the session yet. So I think I did a somewhat decent job. So anyways, that's it for this week's campaign diary or DM diary. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like. It really helps in the comment, or it really helps me a lot. And I will see you in the next episode. So, bye guys.